Hello to everyone. Anna Premiera is here. My name is Anna, and I'm here. Why I'm here? I'm here because today we are going to make Q&A session. We are going to reply some questions we get by mails. Who am I? My name is Anna. I have already told you, and I'm a bit worried because it's our first launch in English version. And I'm an international journalist. That's why I'm interviewing tonight. For me tonight. Also, I'm who I am, online and event producer and live event producer. I'm a transformational life coach and blah blah blah. So many other things I will tell you later, because it's not me tonight. Tonight is about my guest, my special guest, and the one who I respect and I want to be like Yelena Brezhneva. And let me introduce our guest, please. Yelena is a published author of different books and articles, motivational speaker, life coach, healer, teacher, registered metaphysician, the World Metaphysical Association, reverend member of American Alliance of Hypnotists, and so many things I should tell more, but you will know step by step more and more. And hello, Yelena. Just let's say hi to everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Last time, Yelena is a regular guest of our events. More and more people ask questions and address to Yelena. And today we are going to speak about cleaning, but not cleaning of the house or cleaning of the space around by washing the floors, different kind. We are talking about energetical cleaning. And first of all, I would like to know more details about it, because we all understand that it's very, very important to clean every space, every kind of space around. It can be commercial, it can be office, it can be the place you live in, it can be your place you are parking your car, and so on. Right? Is it right?
Yep.
Yeah. And let's tell to our listeners tonight what is cleaning, energetical cleaning, why it needs to do, how often it needs to do, and some other questions I will ask later. Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, thank you so much, and I really appreciate. And
wow, Yelena is disconnected, but she will come back in a few minutes. And I have forgotten to tell that I'm speaking now from Russia, from Rostov-on-Don city, and Yelena now is in Las Vegas, and we are just far from each other, and we're waiting for Yelena. Just a couple of minutes, please. And besides, you can add your questions below this video, please. We are waiting. Good. Yeah. Hello, Yelena. Come back. Welcome back. Yes. Good. Okay.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for having me here, and thank you for this opportunity to share some information and to answer some of the questions. So yes, you are absolutely correct. Majority of the people, they know that we all have a personal hygiene, yet not everyone is aware about the energetical hygienes of your office and the space, the living environment that actually you spend a lot of time in. And the reason people don't really understand it is because they're so disassociated right now from all the native traditions, because the traditions of space clearing are very ancient traditions that every culture of every continent, Northern American, South American, Europe, Asia, basically most of the people, most of the tribes used to do it. And unfortunately, our modern times, people actually forgetting more and more of what used to be simple. And the main reason is that we need to be very, very aware of that. Is because our thoughts, our moods and behaviors, everything imprinting the space around us. We are living in the matrix world. We are surrounded by the energy around us that we can't see, but we definitely can feel. One of the situations that will tell you that you do need to consider space clearing is when you're alone in your personal space, and then you have that feeling like someone is watching you. I'm sure a lot of people are quite familiar with that, and I get a lot of letters of people stating that, I have a feeling like I'm being watched. And the first thing I would tell people, this is what you need. You need to make sure to cleanse your space. And there are many different ways and techniques to do that, but what people have to understand are that energetic pollution is the result of your negative thoughts, negative emotions. Let's say you had a fight, you had a quarrel, you argued with someone, and even though you forget that 10 minutes later, it's imprinting your space. If there are any other fights in the space, if you are stressed and you're unhappy and you come home and you imprint these emotions of negativity, your house is a sponge. And it's absorbing that energy, and that negative energy is absorbing your walls, your ceilings, it's absorbing your floor, your carpets, your furniture. Basically everything little by little is embedded with this energy, and with time that energy becomes so strong. It accumulates, especially it hides in the corners, especially it hides in places that you don't really touch for a very, very long time. And then it accumulates, and then it becomes like an energy. What people don't understand, that house or office is a being. It's an energy. It's an entity. It has its own energy. And it's good if it has good energies, if it's your friend, where you come home and you're feeling so much at rest and, you sleep well. But unfortunately, for majority of the people, it's not the case. They're stressed, they work all day, they get home, and even at home, they can't sleep, they have trouble sleeping. That also will be a sign that you do need to make sure you clear your space. Or let's say they don't feel at rest, or actually quite the opposite. They actually get sick when they got home, and they might actually go to the office and feel good at work, because maybe the energy is not contaminated by negativity. Yet in the house, if they fight a lot, if they talk on the phone or listen to some inappropriate and low vibrational music, it embeds that space. So the main recommendation for people to seriously consider to have a space clearing is, after any negative events, after any fighting, quarrels that you had, after you move into the new space, in your apartment, new house, you have to make sure you have this whole space clearing ceremony and the process. After your guests, for example, you had your family or your guests staying over for the weekend, you got to make sure you clean it out after they leave. I have so many people reporting how they have friends coming over, they're staying a couple days, and then they fight and everything. And then all of a sudden they begin fighting with their husband. And they don't even realize that these events are actually connected. The energy, the pattern of behavior is actually set up, and it drags everyone around it. Let's say you're going to have a friend that came over to your house and she was sharing about, all her problems and her issues. You got to make sure you clear that space. I mean, we're all very empathic people. We are always trying to listen and to help. And there is a price we are paying if we don't know what to do. And of course, after the main life events, let's say you got divorced or you separated or your boyfriend moved out, you got to make sure you clear that space, because that space is embedded with energies and thoughts and thought patterns of the people that were in your space. Let's say you had your relative that died in your apartment or in your house. I mean, so many people in Europe, they're living with their grandparents in their house. And in many cases, the grandparents are dying, and then they actually report that they keep seeing, their dead relatives walking in their apartment, or they keep feeling the presence of their grandma that passed away, a few years ago. So all those things is a sign that your space is desperately is crying for help and does need the energy. But not everything is so dramatic. I mean, sometimes if you are starting a new project, new business idea, new project, you should also consider doing the full session for the space clearing. If you're trying to sell apartment, this is a great technique for all the realtors and for all people trying to sell their properties, sell their country houses, because a lot of time the reason they can't get a good price or find a new buyer because of that. There is no energetic alignments. People come, they look at the property, and it emits this signal of like, don't go in here, I don't want you, and people don't want this property. So every time you need a new project, you gotta make sure you do this. A lot of people, they stick with feng shui, and I am a feng shui lover, of course. And I'm telling you, even if you do your feng shui, you gotta make sure you clear your space right after you feng shui your house. I mean, I have a beautiful feng shui items here as well because I love it and because it helps in my work. But still, feng shui is not enough. You do have to clear the energy patterns of your space. So the ecology, I would call it the ecology, spiritual ecology, because we're very aware of personal ecology. We all care about, ecology outside. Everybody cares about planet Earth. Yet when we are talking about the houses, this is not such a common thing yet, unfortunately. And hopefully we will change it because, I mean, we've been doing it for quite some time. So I'm hoping a lot of people will respond to this. So most of the people asking, so how often do you do it? Well, after the events that we've just listed, right?
More and more you're reading my mind. I have less and less questions from people because you're replying. Okay. reading minds of people.
I'm so sorry. I'm so bad.
It's great. Okay. I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, so yes, a lot of people's asking, so when do you do it? So after these events, to be honest with you, once people take the course that I'm teaching, right, we learn so many different techniques where there are certain ways that should be done, like let's say once a month, like the big and major cleansing. Yet at the same time, there are small things that should be done on a daily basis. So it's really hard to say how often do you do it, because to be honest, you got to do it on a daily basis. It's like brushing your teeth. What if you don't brush your teeth for a month? Okay, maybe that's not a good example because some people, they don't. What about if you don't take a shower for a month? What will happen to you? Well, think about the house that it's your entity. And when people say, well, how often do you do it? Well, I usually say, well, how about you don't take a shower? And then, or I will ask the people, how often do you usually clean it? And they're like, never. I said, how long you've been living there? And they're like 15, 20 years. I'm like, well, imagine if you wouldn't take a shower for 20 years, how would you look? Well, imagine this is how your apartment looks right now. So in general, there are different ways that you should be working or doing with this right now. I mean, I personally, I have kids, that scramble and fight sometimes and, always trying to find out who is right and wrong. And I clean my house every day. So there are small ways you can do it.
How long does the session of a clearing, and cleaning take?
The quick one, it takes a few seconds for you just to light up and burn an incense. That's all. And use that.
Do you do it by your mental way, or physical one?
Yes, normally, and once you come to my class, once we have the incense, there's a certain intent. But basically, it will be the intent for a cleansing of the energies and for filling the house with the new energies of life and love, and prosperity.
What is the process of cleansing? Is it?
The thing people don't understand that a lot of times your space has a lot to do with your finances and with your prosperity,
Right.
because if your house is not really aligned to have this healthy energy of life, of abundance, you will not be able to bring it home. Like, you will be trying, you'll be working hard, and you'll be like almost there, and yet at the same time it will keep escaping you. So to be honest, it's as important as your finances.
Same, right, right. And many people same asking lots of things about that. But the process again, because I'm interested in details, and I'm sure people also who will listen to us. And is it some kind of transformation of energies? One is changed by another one,
You want to
or
see the
what is
process, right?
going on?
I see. Good question. And it's actually very smart presence, because really, what happens to the energy? Where does it go? Right?
Right.
So the best way, it's always the process of transformation, where you are introducing a new pattern of love and light that embeds, dissipates, and actually helps the negative energy transform and work for you. In some cases, and very random, very rare, actually severe cases, there might be a need to send negative energy to create as light, but I am always focused mostly on transformation, because you don't want to, when you're working, you don't want to leave anything behind you. It's not like I want to take the trash out of your house, and say, okay, this negative energy goes to your neighbor's house, and, which is actually done, as I've heard,
Yeah, yes, yes,
by other
sometimes,
people
yes.
that don't know how that works. But yes, you don't really want to. This is not how you work. You gotta make sure when you work, you do not have any byproducts, except there is one byproduct of love and light that actually left behind.
Yeah, and most of all, people very often, I guess, they try to avoid something. But the best way is not to avoid. The best way is to change, to
Transform.
transform. Yeah, okay.
Absolutely transform.
Yeah.
And we are doing that transformation with the energy, first of all, of powerful master plants. I mean, smudging is one of the common thing in Northern America, Central America, and South American continents. Smudging is very popular. Using all ancient salt was part of the people that were actually living by the sea. Hawaiian people using a lot of sea salt in their ceremonies and traditions. In general, salt is a very alchemical element that does carry amazing transformational energies. I mean, people have been using all these things for centuries.
As far as we know, both in Christian and Orthodox Christian religion, it is very popular to clean the space around with the candle, just a church candle, lighted candle. Is it right to do? Is it good? Is it enough to do?
Yes, I'm actually very familiar, but do not forget that that candle is not really lit by you. Remember, in the ancient Orthodox traditions, you are not really to do that. You're supposed to invite the only supposedly person who could actually do it, which is the priest.
Yeah,
Remember?
yeah.
So is
Right.
the church will never ever actually approve or let you think that you actually have
Can
enough
do yourself.
energy
Yeah, yeah.
exactly to do it yourself. So the other thing, byproduct of that religious, is that there is only certain people that actually could do it, which I totally believe this is a misconception and a way to manipulate, have a monopoly for certain techniques, because I totally believe that anyone can do it.
Here
Can you
is
do
my
it?
next question. Yeah, who can do it? Who can do it? Can people do themselves, and or they just need to invite you from Las Vegas, from Nevada State, to come to their homes everywhere, all over the world, and travel a lot and clean with your energy, with your force and your power, or you can do it in a distant way, or maybe nobody could do except you, or nobody could do except anybody else.
You know what? And it's actually you'll be surprised. I do have personal requests for people. So I have been doing individualized space clearance, but these were the cases of severe, let's say, negative contamination with negative energies. That wasn't just a byproduct of your daily living or someone passing. So yes, I actually do have so, and I do work long distance with that. So when people actually take the course, they do learn how to do it on their own. But there is a bonus. Once you come on that class, I will actually do a personal cleansing of your space long distance just for you and for those participants. So yes, you are going to learn to do it. But people asking, well, will it work as well as my work? Honestly, not really. Because you know why? It will take you another 10 years of space clearing and working with energies and doing the sessions and private consults and doing all the spiritual and metaphysical work. So it's the same as you're going to the first grade and the 10th grade. I mean, the first grade it doesn't matter how well he is doing in the first grade, it's the first grade. So, I mean, it's still going to be different, but does it mean it's worse? No. 10 years down the road, you'll be able to do it as well as I do if you do it for 10 years,
I'll open the secret to lots of people now, because it's maybe it is not a secret. In fact, I've been attending the class of Yelena for 3 times, I guess, and it's become a tradition. Every month we keep going and cleaning and clearing the space for our clients, for Yelena's clients, all together. And of course, me also, I do it, and I even feel the need to do it. When time comes, when months pass, I know that I keep and I will go to Yelena and we will make the next step, and we will clean together. But here is the question. Do you know exact stories of people? I'm sure you know when they say that life changes after the session.
Oh, absolutely. Actually, I have many stories. I have even many stories of not just people's life, but their pets' life changing as well. I had a very interesting review of a lady from England, Tatiana. She's an actress, and she has a cat that is 25 years old. So, and she was explaining, how good she feels and great, and the air is so clear, and it feels like you've actually had a breath of fresh air. And then she actually states how the state of her cat changed. The cat is more happy, it's more energized, it's eating better, and it's like she's actually saying that cat is transforming in front of my eyes. Absolutely. Other lady was saying that as soon as she cleared her space, she said complete miracles began happening. The children began calling her, and which is always a pleasant thing, and you know how children are busy nowadays. But at the same time, there could be certain blockages of why certain events cannot enter your life, and it could be your apartment that is actually blocking you. Then she was saying, that same lady, that someone invited her for the concert free of charge, then someone gifted her the fur coat, that her relationship at work actually got better. So you know what, it's actually amazing how transforming the experience could be for you. And the only way you'll find out if you actually try it. And you know, when you've mentioned that you have the need to do it because you get spoiled. You see, we are humans, we adapt so fast, and we adapt to negative energies. And once we have this clean, energetically clean space, we love it so much. That's how we are able to sense it. We develop sensitivity for the energetic pollution, you know, and that's how we already want to make sure, okay, it's time to clean it. It's time to clean it. How long the process takes? it can take as much time as you have. If you don't have time, you can just light up the incense. You have time, you can go through the whole long process. You can partially clean certain parts of the rooms. I mean, there's so many ways, so many techniques that I will teach people that they're able to use any of it. And especially it's actually also good for the if they have a gift or certain antiques, certain jewelry. So you could use that technique to clear other objects and antique or jewelries. So it's actually very,
or crystals, same, right?
and
Who
crystals.
works with crystals?
Well,
Right.
yes, there is a way you could clean the crystals, absolutely.
Good. Here is some statistics I have observed during the sessions. When Yelena works, after we finish, most of people, like 95% of people who attend the class, our virtual class, they show same results, as if they smell the special smell in the air. Or, for example, they feel really like frozen fresh air, winter fresh air, and same things they described, right?
Yep, absolutely. And it's interesting because we do the class online. The funny
Mm-hmm.
part is I do use certain incense during the process. So when I light it up here, being in Las Vegas, Nevada, half of the people are actually able to smell the essence at their homes, which is always pleasant to see every time.
Yeah, and especially next morning, because we very often do in the evening. In Russia, it is late evening, and all people write mails that next morning miracle comes, and people call who were absent, and so many things, and same fresh air follows even week. Even the week, the day by day, the fresh air in the morning follows people after the session. It's a miracle. And here are special questions from people who are writing, and they will promise that we will reply. Irina from Kazan, she asks about her commercial property she cannot sell for a rather long time. What should she do? How should she act?
So first of all, I would, of course, recommend her to take the class. Because if she has commercial properties, it's probably big. So that will require time. And that will require quite, depending on how big it is, right, in time. And first of all, it will probably require several sessions. I mean, it's if the building is not occupied, if the property is not occupied, and it haven't been occupied for many months, that dead energy in there, it just keeps accumulating. So you may not even be able to clear it up all in one session. So you have to be ready, first of all, to work and to repeat it and to do it over and over and over. So if you haven't been doing it for a while, be ready to do at least 3 sessions on the days that we would actually recommend. One of the simplest advice I can give people, it's always good to do it in the day that equals to number 9, which will give you few days a month. So you see, I'm already sharing my techniques. So 9th of the month will be a good day. 18th of the month, because 1 plus 8 is 9, right? And the 27th of the month, which is 2 plus 7 is 9. So here you go. You already have 3 days that will have your cleaning very effective. Also, full moon. If you do it on the full moon, that will also amplify the process that you're doing. And of course, there is more recommendation on certain lunar days that should be done on certain moon phases. So there's always a day when you do it, it will amplify the energy. So you gotta know those days for sure. And I just shared with you.
And remember, today is 25th of June. So those who will watch in just coming days, just follow, please. The 27th is very soon. Yeah. Okay. And one more question, please. Here is Janet from Spain. She has been living with her partner for 5 years, and they moved to the apartment. And since then, always they just come into the apartment. They always argue, and they keep good relations outside, but always when they are in, always fights and argues. So what should they do?
See, in this particular case, there's something in the glass surface of that apartment. I don't know if they have like a glass cabinet, or is it the glass something that is built in that has a reflective surfaces. So in this particular case of these people, there is certain disruptive patterns that are embedded in the glass surface of that apartment. So when they will be doing, particularly, they have to focus especially on the windows and all
Mirrors.
reflective surfaces. There's like, when you just told me, I could see that there's like a mirror-like surface in there that keeps creating these disruptive energies. And you know what? This is so true. So many people don't even realize that most of the arguments in the house actually could be created by the presence of those disruptive and negative energies.
Yeah, and it's a pity, and they can change it. It is
And it's
good.
very easy to change it, absolutely. But you have to be open for that.
Right, and you have to be intended to do it.
Hmm.
And Natalia from Germany, and she asks same question: how often should she do? And you have already replied, but at the same time, she is the client of yours for many times for some of sessions. But at the same time, she says that it is not enough for her. So
And that I was going actually to say, yeah, it all depends on how much action your environment has. Like, for example, if you live by yourself and you're gone for work and no one is watching TV in your place, there's no one in there, right? So nothing is happening in your place. You don't have friends coming over, no relative, no kids. So like there is nothing is happening. So obviously you may not need that many or that often of the sessions, right? Plus, it's also important the starting point. When did you start? What was happening in your apartment when you moved in? I mean, did you move in 3 years ago? Do you know what happened in that apartment? What if there was a murder in your apartment? I know my sister was sharing. I remember the story when there was an apartment and someone suicided in that apartment, and she kept sharing that she could feel it. She could feel that presence. So it's very important to know the history of the place you moved in. So it is going to be individual and different for everyone. That is why for people like that, intuitive people that feel that it's not enough, I would say, you know what, you are right. It's not enough. So you do it. Every time you think that you should, you're right. Just do it. Don't doubt. You can be it can be too clean. So if you feel you need to do it, because there could be in old residential energies, it could be so deep penetrating with the events that you probably have no clue about. So I would actually do it every time I have this sense and the need to do it. And make sure also, use the protection. It's always good to have this extra knowledge about the protections that we've actually talked about. Once she goes to meet with people maybe she doesn't like, or she goes to unpleasant places, or just in general in places with lots of people, because a lot of sensitive people and a lot of people who is listening to it, they're listening because they are sensitive people. They are aware, they know better, and they're so sensitive that they could actually carry those energies. I mean, you could clean your space, but then when you go outside, you could bring that energy with you, on you. So that is also important to know, that you have to clean it as soon as you feel it, and use all those recommendations that we gave.
also, maybe it is good to clean clothes they buy in supermarket in the mall, right?
You know what? I don't. You have to use your determined, otherwise you will you'll be so worried all the times that you'll keep seeing these everywhere, and then you'll actually create it. So no, I wouldn't be so paranoid about it. No, I would actually be very open to that we live in the universe that supports us, and yeah, there are certain things that require our attention, especially if we just moved in there, right, new places. But I wouldn't be as paranoid as everything comes into my house needs to be cleaned. No.
Good. Here we are placing below this video the detailed information you can attend and you can just study. But I have one more question to Yelena. Here we're talking about the first grade, like the first class, the first step for the people who attend, who teach, who learn, who learn how to do, what to do, when they should do, and so on. And Yelena helps to each person who is in the class to work with at the same time. And what is going to be in the second grade and the third grade? Can people afterwards use their power, their knowledge they get from you, and go to other people to help and to clean?
Yes, absolutely, Anna. And I actually was going to create for this summer teachers course. But like the minimum requirements, like person would have to attend at least 3 times, at least 3 repeating sessions, and then they will actually qualify to take this teachers course where they will actually able to teach and help other people. But in general, I would still the same. I mean, you today and you in 7 years, it's such a more magnificent, more powerful. So the only real teacher for us is time. Time and practice. If you keep practicing with this time, and in the other cultures and a lot of Asian cultures and Indian cultures, they always say that the 7-year period is the main time frame to actually obtain the knowledge. So most of these their philosophies and schools and everything was based on this 7-year fragment. So I would say even you graduate today, it's awesome, but guess what, in 7 years you are going to be absolutely amazing.
Great. But last question. I've just had it. Sometimes when we finish our sessions, you calculating the time you spend by distant course, and the same if you, for example, would do in the presence, and it's so much different. Sometimes 10 minutes of a distant time means 7 hours of real time. Is it?
Yes, and it's actually very interesting. The good example of the how quantum we are and of the time we use is the movie Interstellar. When I saw that movie and I saw that fragment about the time, I was like, oh, finally someone is explaining the things that I've been experiencing and I couldn't explain, since I've been doing a lot of long distance work, and I do a lot of long distance healings and consults and space clearance, and I do a lot of long distance works. I did notice these time discrepancy where I've realized, and I've actually was able to see the proof of that as well for me, that the time we spend doing something long distance does not equal the time of the real time, which is exactly like you said. The 10 minutes that we spend, let's say, in this clearing process, in some cases it would be 5 hours of the real lifetime. In some cases it will be 7 or 8 hours. And again, it depends on that particular space-time environment that we are in. When we are starting the work, there's a portal that opens up to each space, to each particular student that is participating. And we are working through this energetical portal that is not created. It's not part of our reality, so it has no time. It's not part of our world. So it's actually runs under different rules. It's a portal, a process that helps you get in and get out. And when you access from that state, that state of consciousness, that particular space, it actually changes the real time, the relativity of the time. The Albert Einstein was explaining, right, that time is just a very relative thing, right? And our world is just made up by humans. So yes, absolutely, that. Thank you for noticing that. And I began keeping track of that just recently, by the way, just again for my personal experience. And maybe a few years down the road, I actually will be able to explain, because right now I can't explain why sometimes 10 minutes would be equal to 5 hours and sometimes it's 7 hours. I can't tell you yet. I'm still in this process of discovering those non-physical laws. And maybe one day. I do know that it depends on the particular day, on the particular people present.
Maybe the power of energy you spend.
And also, if let's say if I have a lot of people that are repeating space clearances, so their spaces are not as contaminated, so there could be that process has a little bit lighter work. And since I'm cleaning till the space is clean, so I have to have this very particular awareness. And in all of my work, in all of my activations and meditations, I keep doing it until the process is complete. But I can't tell you why. I can only know when it's done. So I always tell people, how long we're gonna do it? Until it's complete. How do we know? Once it's complete, we will know.
Right, and I guess that it depends, the time difference depends on the power you spend to do it.
And
because
the people present.
People present and people wish to do, and the people, the level of the pollution, I should say, I guess, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Contamination level, for sure.
Great. Okay, here we are finishing our talk for today. Here were Anna and Yelena with you. We tried to reply some questions you mailed to us, and please mail. Below this video you will see lots of details about the sessions you can learn, the sessions you can do with Yelena's help, the emails you can just write to us and ask your questions, or in comments or below this video. And please mention that if you like this video, you just click on the like button and subscribe to our channel to follow more and more. Next time we're going to meet with Yelena, and we will discuss many other things like crystal using and how to work with crystals, how to keep your feet with using right energies, and so many intriguing things to do. You will know, just follow us. Thank you very much, Yelena. Thank you very much for all our guests and our listeners, and see you soon. Anna and Yelena were here for you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.